This time 1818 Custom Garage.
We've got the HPI Baja 5B Builder Kit. And this guy and I, we're going to put it together. So the one thing that I used to love about old RC cars is they came as a kit. You had to put them together. And you got to learn how to put it all together, what pieces went where, everything. And so if you ever had a problem, you could fix it, right? So this guy's never built an RC car before. So this is a cool project for the two of us. And this is gas power. So if you remember, we took the motor out of the Weed Whacker, AKA, well, his name's Weed Whacker, but it's the Losi DBXL 2.0. That motor is going to go in here. And we're going to hop that motor up a little bit too. Right, Gage? So we're going to get into it and follow us along. This should be a fun project for this little guy to learn how to do. So we're going to open it up. Let's open it up, Gage. What's in there? It's a whole lot of pieces, huh?
There's 2 bodies.
We got all the pieces, the parts. Oh man. There's 2. Look, it does. It comes with 2 body setups or 2 body shells. So, which is pretty cool. So if we bust one, we got a spare, and we could probably do a couple different paint jobs too if we wanted to. But I think we're gonna keep the paint jobs pretty mellow.
But what if you have, break both of them?
If we break both of them, then we're gonna have to buy another one. We'll have to buy another body. But look, guys, this is like a legitimate old RC car setup. You gotta cut it, trim it. Tires, foams. See, nice big tires. This is a 5th scale monster. 5th scale monster. Beadlock wheels. Oh man, this thing is so sweet. Look at the wing gauge. Oh, I like the wing.
That's a big wing.
Yeah, it's gonna look good. So, I mean, it comes with everything. You've got, it looks like it's got shock oil in here. Probably some diff grease and oil. Man, we got it all. Look, Gage. And it's gas powered, so we got a gas tank. Pretty sweet. This is a nice looking kit. So we're gonna follow it. We're gonna probably build this thing up, and hope you guys enjoy it. We'll stop in a couple little sections so you can see some of the pieces that we get together. Then we'll show you the final build. Ready? This is gonna be fun. Man, has this been a fun build? Maybe, maybe not. This thing, okay. So you can see right now, we got the whole front bulkhead, front suspension, steering, all in here. Pretty cool, huh?
But.
Mounted to the chassis.
But.
And then we got the gas tank in too. So this has taken lots of hours just to get to here.
It takes 42 hours to get that car built.
No, but it's taken a lot of hours.
42?
So I'll just say
Actually,
the instructions.
I think it's been 42.97 hours.
Okay, thanks, bud. So the instructions on this thing, they're not the best. And just the way they have like the assembly going together, it's really hard to get to certain areas and do certain things. But I mean, it's pretty sweet, you know. You could go out and pretty much buy one ready to go, but this is, you know, I can say that we built it together, but man, this thing is tough though. So we're gonna keep going, and we'll give you another update. But everything does fit really good. Everything fits really awesome, and I'm really looking forward to it. So as you can see, we got a mess everywhere. I mean, we got tools out all over the place, and man, we're gonna make this HPI Baja 5B. We're gonna make it a screamer. You ready, guys?
Dad,
Yes.
please don't make it loud.
It won't be too loud.
But can't. No.
All right. So it's day 2. Yes, I had the same shirt on. It's really early. Thanksgiving weekend. So the only problem is, man, one of the ding dongs, Gage, is feeling a little under the weather today. So I'm gonna have to finish this thing off myself, I think. But we got really far. So if you can see, we got the whole rear bulkhead setup done. It's super nice. If you look, that rear diff case, that is a Turtle Racing billet quick diff. So we are gonna do a few little upgrades while we were here building this thing. But man, this kit, it is pretty extensive. You can see the whole front, center chassis, front bulkhead that we worked on earlier, what we showed you. It's a lot of work, but it's kind of fun. I don't know. I'm enjoying it. I know it's hard for him, to do, but he's had some fun doing it too. So we're gonna keep going today, get it together, and hopefully we got a whole chassis that's complete. We probably won't do the motor or anything. Might do the part 2, where we hop up the motor and install it and stuff like that. We're also going to be doing some other upgrades with like the clutch, with like a I think we got a Turtle Racing clutch system for it. So that should be nice too. Just trying to do a few little upgrades since we're here putting it together. I don't want to build the whole thing and then pull it apart and do stuff like that. So we'll show you hopefully the finished product here pretty soon. I just wanted you to check this out. So we got the all the electronics together. So I'm using a Power HD steering servo, 65 kg, and an Eco Power for the throttle. I had the Eco Power one. It's older, it's haven't been used. I picked up this Power HD one for pretty cheap. And then we did a ProTech switch. Normally the switch goes inside the box and all this, because it's set up for like old school non-lipo, NiCad stuff. So I've got a lipo battery in there from DDM. Most all this stuff like from here is all from DDM. So, but look at this. So we got this awesome Turtle Racing clutch setup, grabber clutch bell. It's got full DDM metal pinion and spur, and let's see, Vertigo clutch housing, because the clutch housing that I had on there was the wrong thickness, wrong spacing, and it had everything all off. So we got everything in there, and this is what stinks is all the video for the motor stuff that we did is all corrupted. So this is the motor out of the DBXL 2.0. It now has an ESP ported head, race ported head, Bartolone billet transfer port covers, and all that's swapped over. It's ready to go. Man, it all fits in there so nice. We did some upgrades here. We did the billet DDM brackets to hold things in place, just to get a little more stability out here. This is a Vertigo piece. Like I said, this is a full Turtle Racing clutch housing and full clutch setup. Has a full billet backing plate. It's super, super nice. Then what did we do over on the other side? We've got the GBE motor mount bracket over here. DDM bracket there. Little ESP setup. This thing went together super nice. I've been really happy with how everything's been fitting. Look, when you start, doing billet pieces and the Turtle Racing setup, you got to leave everything loose. And I actually mocked everything up a couple times on this thing, just to make sure things fit. I had to, there's a spacer underneath here for the brakes, for this screw to go through, and it goes into this bracket, and it needed a little bit of finessing, so take out my my files and filed a few of the spacers down and stuff and whatnot. So man, this thing is looking awesome. So we're gonna throw the electronic box all in there. It's way lighter. I mean, everything's in here too. So we're gonna get that installed next, And then I'll get all the carburetor, air filter, and exhaust on. I'll get everything set up, and then we'll probably do a nice shot of it afterwards. The shocks are all together. Man, this thing is, it's a lot of work, but it's pretty sweet, and I'm pretty happy with how well it's gone together. So next up, we'll get this in, then we'll show you probably the complete, not fully completed, but ready to start and break in, because we got to break in this motor now, or at least break in the piston and ring and stuff. So sweet, guys. Oh man, this thing is sweet. It came out pretty awesome. So if you look, I've got the Duratrax Banditos on there right now. I didn't want to put the stock tires on there because we're just gonna smoke them. You know, we gotta break this motor in, tune it up. We're gonna do that all, you know, on the street. So we did get it started. It fired right up. I still have the old spark plug in there. I do have some new spark plugs, but I figured I'd break it in on an old spark plug, then I'll swap it over to a new spark plug. But man, look at that. I do have the old carburetor on, the 1107. Waiting on a 1254 from O'Neill Brothers. I like having a choke. You know, I know some people are like, oh, choke, no power. I call bull crap. Chokes work. Makes it way easier to start. We got everything in there. Man, this thing's nice. I really like, you know, there's a few things on it that I don't like, the fit and stuff, but overall, pretty good. Pretty happy with it. Don't have the wing on it right now because I was doing a little bit of work, because if you see, I've got, that's the exhaust from the DBXL, the original exhaust. And I put a piece of heat shield right here because it's right up against the plastic. I had the Victory RC when I first got it on there. It was a pain to get fit. I mean, it just did not fit. This bracket doesn't line up to anything. It, you know, it started moving around so much, it actually dimpled it in, it banged it in here. This bracket doesn't, it kind of goes to this side mount, but you need like a spacer or something, but they don't give you any of that. It's all bashed, it's all beat up. So, not really happy with the fit on that. So, for now, we're gonna break it in with the big old turd box. And then we're gonna go with, I don't know, might do like a DDM Dominator, or, you know, might do the full Bartolone Racing, you know, side pipe on it. So we'll see. But man, so next up, I'm gonna start working on fitting the body on and trimming that up. And then we'll go do some break-in and hopefully get a little bit of video for that. We got, like I said, I got the motor fired, but need to do a little bit more break-in. But overall, fit finish, pretty good. You know, there's a few little things here and there that you gotta play with. Like the servo. This servo's so close to this cage. Initially I couldn't get the cage down and in. So I had to trim kind of the ears a little bit on the servo, and I was able to slide it back just a few millimeters. I only needed maybe like 1/8 of an inch. So I got that, so it's right up against it, but it all goes together good. Nice fit. You know, the pain is that this comes over your whole receiver, battery box and everything. So the battery's gotta stay inside there and you gotta charge it. You know, being a LiPo, I'm not totally a big fan of leaving it all connected and charging it in there, but you know, they do make some the nickel metal hydride batteries still, so could eventually put one of those in there and see how it goes. This EcoBoost servo, man, this thing makes like 400 ounces on 7.4 volts, so it does a really good job for, you know, actuating the brakes and the throttle. The brakes, you know, I kind of drove it very lightly. Not a big fan. I need to adjust them and figure that out. So, but yeah, super sweet. Went together really good. Air cleaner, such a pain on these things. That's obviously why they make a bunch of aftermarket ones that are slightly angled and stuff to fit a little bit better in this, you know, because getting it in and out is really tough. So, but next up, body, then we'll get some video of it running. And then we'll probably go get it next to this guy and go see how they do together. So, I don't know, maybe we'll take the X-Max out too. I don't know, we could get some more of these guys out. Go have some fun. So we got the body trimmed out. So if we're gonna show you, you know, kind of how this thing starts, right? And you look at this piece, right? You got all that, and you got to trim it out to just that. You know, it's still a little rough around the edges and stuff. You know, the side pieces, everything seemed to, you know, they're kind of a square. They got some good lines on here to cut it out. So the one thing I noticed, and this is probably my fault, right, is this main body. So this is a real pain to, like, you know, really trim out. It's still got everything on it. I'm gonna, you know, clean up a little bit of the rough edges and stuff. But I was like, man, this thing's got no lines to, like, really follow to trim, you know, like especially along like this side where it goes up against like the motor and stuff. And then there were no lines to trim it back, you know, for these front braces or anything. So, but then what's funny is I went and pulled out this body. If you look, there are cut lines for all this, even along the side, to trim that all out, and along the back to trim that all out. So I'm wondering if they give you two bodies. One is for a gas, and one is for, what do they call it? The flux, which is the electric version, which is what I'm thinking. And I mean, I did not, you know, I pulled them apart thinking they're identical because they have the same outer shell, you know, but look how much, you see how much this thing starts off as, and you got to trim that all out. It's kind of a pain in the butt, but I think it did okay. I got everything to fit really nice on there. So I'm happy about that. The only thing I didn't like was, you know, if I had to do it over again, since there was no trim lines on this one, I probably would have popped a hole here, you know, drilled it, and then trimmed up to it to have a nicer rounded edge, and I didn't. So I think once I get the, you know, the rough edges cleaned off real quick, and get paint on it, it'll be just fine. It's gonna get beat up anyways, probably. But yeah, so body all together, everything fits good. Most of the holes lined up pretty well, I thought. The one thing though too that I added, and that I didn't get to share with you before, is this Fat Dad fan cover brace. So if you look at how the Baja is, it uses like the fan cover to bolt in here and to bolt in here to give it stability, right? And it's really to give the whole chassis stability, because you've got 3 screws, 2 on this side and 1 on the other side holding it from the bottom. But they use the motor itself as part of chassis stability, kind of like how they do on, you know, some dirt bikes and even some, like, you know, some of the Ducati street bikes and stuff out there. So I was like, hey, you know, they've been known to crack a fan cover every once in a while. So this thing's pretty cheap insurance. And it bolts right on. Super simple. I mean, it fit perfectly. So threw that on there too. I am going to upgrade the air filter because, like I said, that thing's a pain. So, and then the carburetor, the new carburetor, the 1254 should be here next week. And, you know, everything should be good. So we're still trying to figure out what color we're going to paint this thing. 2 options so far is we're thinking like a dark burnt orange metallic, or a maybe like a dark British racing green metallic. My wife keeps saying, paint it gold, paint it gold. I'm like, gold? I don't know. Like, I'm not a huge fan of like the white B-lock, you know, pieces. Now you can, DDM makes ones, you know, in all different colors. So I may end up getting a different set of, you know, B-lock rings for it. Probably not. You know what? I am going to probably get a second set of wheels and tires for it though, so that I can have a street tire and then also have a off-road dirt tire. So like with the DBXL, the original tires are pretty worn out. So we're gonna keep these as like the street tire. And then I forget where they are, but I got a set of Mad Max tires and wheels for that. So it's like a second set. So I may do the same thing for this in the future. But we're gonna take this thing out in a little bit, show you a little bit more of the break-in, just kind of give you a feel of what it sounds like, what it looks like. And because you know, we're through most of the break-in process on it, haven't started tuning on it, but we want to get maybe another half a tank through it, so we'll maybe show you a few of those passes. And then hopefully by that time too, we'll have it painted, and you can see the end product of how this thing all came out. Gage was looking for it. I haven't let him drive it yet because I was trying to break it in, but he wants to drive it because, you know, he's helped a lot on this thing. Like I said, it's not the easiest thing for, you know, a 6-7-year-old to do, because this one's pretty extensive, honestly. And you know, it's not like this old HPI, you know, I might try to get another, you know, old HPI, like something small, you know, this is a 10 scale on-road car. This is a lot easier to work on, right? A lot. And it's electric, so you don't have the motor and all that other stuff. But you know, this thing's big and bulky, and the screws are bigger, and you got to get them tighter and all that other stuff. So, all right, so up next, we're gonna be out on the street, show you a little how this thing runs and what it sounds like with this. Actually sounds pretty cool with this exhaust on it too. I don't know, I might leave it. I mean, it's plenty peppy, I feel like. So yeah, so there we go. Hey guys, look at this guy. He picked out the color for this thing. You ready? Man, it looks sweet. What is it, Gage?
Racing green.
Racing green, and it's pretty awesome.
Look, Dad.
Look, Dad. Oh, cool. They got a cool truck over there.
And they got a damn light on.
Man, look at it. This thing is sweet.
Yeah.
You guys gonna go get the El Toro logo? Look at the sweet. I really dig the graphics they did on these things. It's super awesome. But as you can see, no exhaust. We had a little issue. So I'll just show you guys, look. So went to go, it's a DDM Dominator. You can see a nice hole through there where they just burnt through the weld. I noticed it, I saw some oil spitting out, and I was like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. So I hit up DDM. We'll see if we hear back from them. Hopefully they can just send me the new head pipe piece, the flange piece. I could weld this, but with all the chrome all over it, that would be tough. So, man, so next up, we'll get that exhaust on, and we're gonna get some videos of this thing running. Maybe we can get a video of these guys running. Look at these nerds, these dorks. Man, I really dig it. The racing green's a different flare. It looks really cool in the sun. I like a metallic. I thought it would've been cool, but this was his pick, and I think it came out pretty sweet. I did also use some Flex Seal on the inside after I painted it, just to give it a little bit of durability. So we'll see how that holds up. But man, really digging. Love the new graphics that are on there too. So they don't tell you where to put them, so I just kind of figured it out myself. I did put the lead singer. Man, I dig it. I dig it. Looking forward to it. Part 2, we're gonna get some running video.